Hey, peace, world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. I did a live stream earlier on a different format on here that you can do with mobile. Didn't like it whatsoever. So I kind of wanted to come back. I didn't know that thing was going to show my whole phone screen. It's kind of interesting look. But anyway, definitely wanted to come back and kind of clean it up without really deleting everything that I discussed on that one. But the going into the finale, the series finale, it's kind of not shocking, but a little disappointing to see that series finale was, I think, the how it was listed on something I was watching, but definitely confirming that after this Sunday's episode, the sixth one, that's the end of the show. These characters go away. And I don't know, man. It's kind of a little. I guess those that are familiar with the book, you should have known. I guess you knew one way or the other. You kind of had a good idea how this would conclude. Like I said, in the earlier live stream, I think there's so much more to dig into here with several of the characters. So maybe I'll check that book out, possibly. It is COVID pandemic season. Plenty of time to go back and look into that. But in all likelihood, I probably wouldn't, especially if I see even if I see who the killer is this Sunday. I guess it's still an option. But look, the big thing is they left us with another excellent cliffhanger at the end of this episode, which was something that I praised them for in the first three episodes, which I thought really pulled viewers in, based on what happened, in the closing moments of those episodes. So here, we didn't get that one. We didn't get a cliffhanger, a real cliffhanger, at least at the end of episode 4. We do get it in this penultimate episode where Grace finds the sculpting hammer in Henry, her son, 13 or 14 years old, Henry's violin bag. It can't be that easy, right? I know they teased us with the next episode's trailer that Haley says something like, "Can you imagine what this would mean if this got out?" So they obviously take it to her and they have some kind of strategy meeting to see how to proceed with the with this development with Henry having the smoking gun, if you will, the murder weapon, which was something that was missing when we heard the opening arguments from the state and the defense attorney, Haley Fitzgerald. So now that they have that, it just can't be that easy. It's got to be something else to it. The one thing that kind of throws you off here is you don't know if in this episode Henry was pushing for the family to be back together at the dinner table or while they were out dining. Another thing, another detail is that he was aware of this situation, between the ongoing affair between his father and Elena Alves. So he could have wanted to, at one point in time, he may have wanted to do something about it. We don't know where he was on the night of the fundraiser. We didn't really get a good time of what time, or maybe I missed it. It is a small detail, but I'm thinking the fundraiser might have ran until 11:30 at night, midnight. But it was a school fundraiser, so maybe it was somewhat early. But with that said, with that being said, maybe there was a way for Henry to have been out and to have done something about this. It just would have logistically, for a 14-year-old, and we don't know how far the Elena's studio is from the Fraser household. They haven't given us any kind of map or anything. Grace was out on foot walking and, out in the middle of the night walking. and we don't have any idea of, like I said, is it a short walk? Is it a 20-minute walk? Is it, we don't know. But I just can't believe that it's going to be that easy that it's him. I mentioned this earlier in the live stream that I messed up. It kind of points back to Jonathan for me. And then with us learning more about the conversation, the Skype between Grace and her mother-in-law, I think she called her Janet or Janice. Now that we know how cold-hearted Jonathan is, and the fact that he doesn't feel any remorse, any grief, or something else that she said. But now that we know that he's basically a sociopath, um, and we know that he knew that his son saw him having the inappropriate conversation or interaction with Elena in front of the school. To me, it kind of points back to him, and the fact that in the very first episode, when Grace realizes that Jonathan is not in Cleveland, like he said, remember they had the big discussion about what did he come into your room and say. Jonathan went into his room and was doing something. I thought the order was he went into the room and was doing something that woke Henry up, and then they had, he said his bye-byes or whatever, and they had a short talk, and then he went back to sleep or whatever. So that kind of leads me to believe that he could have been in the room hiding that hammer in his son's violin case. I don't know if the son, we've never seen him carry the violin to school, so I don't know if he takes lessons at school or if it's just something he does at home. And then if it's not Jonathan, it could have been Franklin. We saw the situation where Franklin came into Henry's room as he was practicing, and he came in and listened for a while and told him how much he likes the violin. So that ties Franklin, his grandfather, to the sculpting hammer as well. With me already saying earlier that I thought Franklin might have had something to do with this, for the simple fact he was trying to save his daughter. He was trying to save his daughter's situation by taking care of the problem that Elena became. Lastly, before I get on off of here, it's just kind of crazy what's going on with Grace, because here's Jonathan on one hand, he's doubled down or tripled down on, his love for Elena. I gotta admit, Elena's kind of hot. She's kind of hot. I wouldn't mind seeing her in her next project. But he comes out and tells Haley Fitzgerald that, I was in love with her quite madly. So, but he went on and said, it was something different from his wife and whatnot. But then, now that he's on the outside, no longer behind the wall, he's trying to play on Grace's heartstring, because he needs her by his side to help with him beating his case. So in some ways, I don't have a clue who did this. Haley Fitzgerald tried to, bring up or sow some doubt, the seeds of doubt in there about whether or not it could be Fernando. I don't know. I mean, that seems like if that's the end result here in all of this, that seems like less of a shocker. It would be less of a shocker if it's him, because I'm imagining there's some kind of vignette or whatever, or some sequence at the end of this, maybe 15 minutes out before the end of the last episode, where they walk us through what happened. That would be kind of anticlimactic if it's just him. So as more of a shock value, more theatrical or cinematic, I'm thinking it has to be Grace, Jonathan, Henry, or Franklin or Sylvia. She could be the X factor, to be honest, Sylvia. It was weird that she showed up late for court, and even waved at the prosecutor as she was sitting down. That just seemed so out of place. So Sylvia's my dark horse. Anyway, that's the final. I mean, that's the penultimate. The recap of the penultimate episode, number 5, Trial by Fury. Always love a good courtroom drama. And I don't know how to say that sister's name, but the actress that plays Haley Fitzgerald, um, she was a killer in there, showing why she earns the money that she earns. So this Sunday night, we'll see. We'll see what the conclusion is. My name is Wood. Thanks for pressing play. Uh, I'd love to hear who you think the killer is, or why it isn't, anything that I've said. Let me get on out of here, man. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.